The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. That is Lovejoy. And part of Q101's Twisted Christmas. That'll be night 2. That's Wednesday, December 6th with Lovejoy, White Reaper, and Chicagoans Bridget Calls Me Baby. Those are the guys that kind of sound like Elvis. They sound like a Pulp Fiction. There's like Urge Overkill a little bit sounding to that band. I love them. Good to have Chicago bands on 3 of the 4 nights as well. But Lovejoy, you can get your tickets at Q101.com. As we're looking at this, what are we about? A month and a couple days away from Q101 Twisted Christmas Week. You've got to get it done.
Good Lord.
I know, you got to get done before Thanksgiving because you'll forget about it that whole week.
I have to get all those outfits.
Yeah.
Because it's not just one night.
Well, see, I'll be wearing the same one probably every night, but Kenzie definitely has outfit changes. So.
I know.
Case probably wears the same thing, I think.
Well, he'll wear different band shirts.
That's absolutely right.
So you are going to change. You're not going to wear the same outfit every night.
Well,
Who wears the same outfit 4 nights in a row, Brian? This is not a talk subject.
Do you remember our photo shoot where I brought the blue plaid like flannel that I love?
Okay, can I talk about this for a second?
You can.
So we had a photo shoot when I first started, take pictures in, and they said bring options. And Brian brought a blue plaid shirt and a red plaid shirt. 90% of the photos are in black and white.
So
Do you understand that?
Well,
Which means like you just doubled down. We're like, plaid is the look.
they had a different plaid scheme.
No, they did not. So it didn't even. You changed shirts, and it didn't matter.
They were identical, just one blue, one red.
Well, they both came from Eddie Bauer, and they just were different color schemes. And I thought maybe we would have a little color in there, but
They're black and white photos,
Yeah.
and he brings the same shirt in 2 different colors.
Yeah, I love that shirt. And Megan told me I can't wear it every night to Twist, and I got to have different outfits every night like you. Because I said, yeah, Kenzie's going to bring her A game. You better bring at least a D game.
D game. Bring your D game.
Don't bring it anywhere near Kenzie, Brian.
I don't want your D game near me. To be honest.
It's not okay.
So around that time, right before that week, actually, you have your baby shower, right? Coming up that week?
Yeah, my baby shower coming up.
Speaking of
December 2nd.
Speaking of outfits, I heard you got a dress.
I gotta. What the hell? Is this your segue? Is this your beautiful segue? I can't. I really can't. I did buy a dress. So I was very stressed about getting a dress because it's not as easy to fit into like nice dresses when you're pregnant, right? Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to wear a massive tent, so I was trying to figure out what I could wear. So yesterday I go to kind of like a prom dress store, but like a formal dress store,
sure.
Right? So there's gowns. I'm sure for the most part you're using them for proms, nice weddings, whatever. So I go. It was a great store. It was beautiful. I went with my mother-in-law, and I picked out a million dresses and myself and carried those to a changing room and took them out of the bags and unzipped them and put them on.
Uh-huh.
And the ones I didn't want, I put on a rack near me.
That's the rule, I believe.
Yeah.
We all agreed to do that.
Well, because the gowns, like, they have them in a certain, like, whatever. The way you have to do is you have to go put them back on, like, a rack for them to be, like, re-put back up and tied.
Because they don't trust us, the consumer, to put them back right.
Right, because it's this backstock area. So I did all of that alone. There was a consultant, like, scheduled to me who was like, I shouldn't do anything, though. I took the dresses out, and here and there, if I'm like, oh, I can't get this hook, like, yeah, she did that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, I don't know her name, didn't see her a lot. So when I'm checking out and buying, like, a nice gown, they asked me to tip the consultant.
Excuse me?
And I go, I didn't know what to do because you don't even do this when you, like, I got a wedding dress 2 years ago, right? And that really is hands-on because those are huge and they have to help you get into them. Mm-hmm. And they clip them and they're carrying trains. They're doing all that kind of stuff. And you don't tip them, right? Now, a lot of wedding dresses, like, they make commission and they do things like that.
Sure.
But that's your choice. Do you want to work a commission sales job or do you want to work a salary-based one, right? The girl that I was working with yesterday was like 15. She had no tips. She wasn't like, oh my God, this will be the kind of dress that'll fit over the butt. It wasn't like a helpful scenario.
Did she
which
sound
is
like,
totally fine.
Did she sound like this? Like, I think you look awesome in this dress. It's really cool.
It's pretty. I'm like, okay,
it's pretty
cool.
badass.
I got it. I don't know why I should be nasal just because she's 15. But
Trying to make a younger sound.
Okay. So it's fine. I was not upset about like, oh, I'm not being super assistant. I can put a dress on. Like, it was no big deal. But leaving, the girl's like, are you going to tip your consultant?
Oh, they asked you personally?
Yes.
Oh, I thought
It wasn't like on the screen.
Oh, I thought it was on a
They
screen.
brought it up to me because I was just checking out, and they're like, "Are you leaving money?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm leaving a lot of money. I'm buying a dress. Yeah, I'm leaving quite a substantial amount here."
Yeah.
And I was shocked because wedding dress shopping and stuff, again, no tip. That's commission based. Because these are gowns, if that's what you want, then it needs to be commission based. And this is so crazy because I was really like frustrated about it. I go, I am not tipping 20% of a gown price.
You mind saying the amount of the dress price there?
For a gown
Yeah.
is several $100s.
Can I guess? Oh, I was gonna say $1,000.
Oh, way less. No.
Oh, okay.
I wanted a sale gown, so the dress that I bought was $700, and I got it for like $350.
Oh, good deal.
So thank you.
Look at that, frugal.
Oh, hello.
Uh-huh.
So I went and got the sale because I'm wearing an actual like gown. It's very pretty, so I'm very excited about it. But so I'm not leaving 20% of that when like nothing. I'm like, what the hell?
Like $70 that'd be.
And so this is crazy. Same day, my dad had like a gift request for Christmas from my mom. I was like, I like this shirt if you want to buy it for me. Hello. It's an online store. And my mom goes to buy it online. So she selects the shirt, selects the sizes, puts in her shipping ad. And then it says, when you're checking out, would you like to leave a tip to help us through the holidays? And she couldn't even find the no tip button. It was 3 different prices up there to tip for online shopping.
That is wild.
And she's like, I am helping you out through the holidays. I'm supporting your small business and ordering clothing from you. And here's the deal. You have to put this kind of stuff in your budget. If you don't have enough to pay your employees or if you're not making a large enough profit, that's part of creating your profit margin. So make the shirts $2 more expensive a shirt than asking people for tips. If you want a tip-run business, then open a service industry business. You don't just get to open any business and make it a tip-based one.
I've never heard. Well, first off, I don't shop for dresses. I've never heard of that before. I do know you're right. When I actually helped Megan shop for the wedding dress just by sitting in the car and driving her around, and I know you're right about that as far as somebody really helping you. But during the pandemic, the extra tip thing became everywhere. Like even Starbucks or getting a coffee, getting anything. Now, that's because those businesses were really struggling.
Right.
They were dying, and I always felt it was great to help out everybody you can who actually showed up during the pandemic. And then I think what happens with everything. Hey, no one was bothered by this. Let's just keep it going. So, I bought a bagel yesterday, and they asked for a tip when I just picked it up at the counter for the bagel. And I'm kind of like, and then when you're face to face like that, I just kind of went, I guess I'll give her 10%. I usually give tip more for like a restaurant. But the first option was 30%.
It's insane. 30% on a bagel is a wild experience. Because here's the deal. I am coming from the perspective of I've worked every job like that you can imagine. So I have worked retail and had commission-based retail. And I've had non-commission-based retail where I just had a salary, right?
Yeah.
And then I've also worked in the food industry at a non-tip base where I was at Panera. Full disclosure, I used to work at Panera.
Yeah.
So I didn't.
How dare you?
I know. I'm going to be super. This is all the places I worked.
You acted like that was a bad thing to say you worked at Panera.
No, but I did. But I didn't like. So I was a cashier at Panera when I was I'm 16 in high school, and then I also worked as a waitress. So in all of those jobs, I was sales commission, and then just worked in retail in general, which wasn't commission. I worked at Panera. I would have never expected a tip at those. I wouldn't have. Like, that's coming from my experience when I worked at Buckle. I worked at Buckle when I was 15.
Oh.
And you do cut, like, let me figure out your jean size. Let me do this. It made, guys had like dragons on their back. I'm like, you look so hot. Okay,
I love that. I want that.
I love your bejeweled dragon. I can't control myself. It looks so good. So I did all of that. And like that was commission based. I would have never thought they'd like hand me a 20 because I picked out their that doesn't make sense. So if you want a job that's tip based, there are service jobs. Be a bartender, be a waitress, right? Or even if you're too young for those jobs, you can be a hostess and you get tipped out by servers by the end of the night. No problem. But you can't just take a different type of job and be like, well, I still want tip. Like those are the decisions you make when you are trying to figure out what kind of money you want to make.
It can't be an oil change place and ask, tip. We need to go back to what you just said as far as when I sit down for dinner, that's a tip. I understand the tip. I get it. Or when I go anywhere else, I guess for tipping. For example, even McDonald's, they have the thing where you can round up and give to the Ronald McDonald House, which is a great thing. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give the extra 70 cents there and round up. Why wouldn't I? Just fine.
Know what makes me mad about that, though?
What's that?
Sorry.
How's that make you mad?
I don't like companies
F them
always do
kids.
this. No,
You're Michael
not
Jordan
that.
all of a sudden.
Listen, I'm involved. I know tons of charity stuff. Brian can vouch for me. I host everything ever. I have 2 this weekend that I'm going to, I do a lot of charity stuff. But
You are Sister, whatever that woman's name was really generous. Sister, can't remember her name. Casey, you know what I'm talking about?
Do you mean Mother Teresa?
Oh, Mother Teresa. That's what I meant to say. Not sister.
Sister Christine.
Yeah, you're Mother Teresa. You are.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely not that. I'd like to clarify.
Anything but that.
But I do help out. I do be helping. Okay?
Right. I feel you.
Now, okay, but my thing is, I hate when companies are like, we're doing our part. We're going to ask everyone to round up. How about you match it? You know what I mean?
Well, they created the thing. I think McDonald's is giving quite a bit of money to the Ronald
No,
McDonald House.
McDonald's is different with the Ronald
Oh,
McDonald.
yeah,
because it's
everybody
Christian.
else. Well-
but you know when you're shopping, they're like, would you like to round up $1? And it's like, oh, you round up $1. I just spent a lot of money.
Well, also, I don't know where that money's going. Is it really going to the person that handed me the bagel yesterday, that tip thing? I don't think it is.
That's what I
I would like
mean.
people that work at those places that when they say everything on tipping, are you getting that money or is the business getting that money? And listen, I always support small businesses, but if it's going to be, to your point, it's going to be $10 for the bagel with all the sandwich, then make it $11 then.
And I totally, when I've had coffee shops where I don't tip every day because I get a coffee every day, but I've come in at Christmas and given them $50 gift cards to my barista that I've been seeing all year.
Sure.
I try to do something nice. So it's not that, but tipping is getting wild. Tipping on me going to a store and purchasing a dress or tipping for online purchases
yeah.
is out of control. And again, is this just making the head of the company richer? Or are you actually helping the person who's going to box?
I want to know if the people are getting those tips. That's one thing I'd like to settle here. People that have get in businesses like that, everywhere you go where you get the tip, are you getting the tip or is this going to the business? Also, Forrest checked in and asked, were you in Wheaton or Bolingbrook? For some reason,
I was in Crystal Lake.
Oh, they thought the town maybe made a difference on where you were?
I was in Crystal Lake. I don't know if that is shocking or not.
I don't know. We begin to tear it down.
I don't be knowing. I don't know why Wheaton would do it, but
I'm just everybody's, a little bit much. It's just too much. Because you know what? If the businesses are struggling, remember, so's the consumer. I'm struggling too.
Here's the deal. I gotta be honest. The only thing that hasn't gotten more expensive the last few years is apparently my labor, because my paycheck has not gone up, and I don't know how that's possible.
Oh, that's too bad.
That's a bummer.
You know what? I'm gonna round up on your paycheck.
You're gonna round
Yeah,
up?
I'm gonna help out.
Oh, I just want equal pay. I know that you're super against that. We've had
Okay,
meetings about it.
No, that's not true.
It is
I was
true.
the first man for equal pay.
What? For
In
Megan?
fact,
for Megan.
for my wife.
And then everybody else.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
Well, it's Brian and Kenzie described how she went to buy a dress, and they asked for a tip at the end for the dress. Now, I get it. We have tip fatigue. There's no question. It's not all right. And of course,
It's just out of hand. And before you were able to control it, because if you were like, I don't feel like spending a certain amount, I'm going to go through a drive-thru. I'm not going to go to a sit-down restaurant. I can avoid it. But now it's literally everything you do. I bought a dress, and they asked me to tip.
Yeah.
I'm like,
How'd
why?
the dress taste?
I was like,
That's all I think about with tipping is
it's
eating
like,
something.
Why? Because I carried around dresses and then tried to mop myself and then hung them back up when they didn't fit. And then I feel like you guys should tip me. Can I get $5 off the dress?
Well, it's funny, man. A lot of people checking in about places they work, and they instantly take that automatic tip thing and put no tip for you as a customer and say, no, don't worry about it. Casey even said the Subway said, no, it goes to my boss, not me, so don't do it. And the case is ready to give a tip.
Yeah, they dive in front of the credit card machine like it's a bomb. Like they're trying to save my life. They go, don't tip, don't do it. And it's like, relax. I wasn't going to anyways, but glad to know that we're on the same page here. Yeah, and just because you made my Subway sandwich doesn't mean you're getting a tip.
I wonder how you looked like a big tipper to them. Like, this guy's going to leave some big money for my boss. I'm stopping him.
I have a nice quality Champion hoodie on. I'm sure they saw me and thought this guy has money.
Where were you going again?
Subway?
Oh, I think that you were on the Subway. I don't really understand.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Every day around this time, Gil Curtis comes in with your headlines, or at least what he thinks are headlines.
This is not headline news. Clocks fell back 1 hour to regular time yesterday, or as Arizonans and Hawaiians know it, Sunday. Today is International Day for preventing the exploitation of the environment in war and armed conflict. And this is amazing. Hallmark has a card for it. Tyson recalled 30,000 pounds of chicken nuggets. Oh, if there was just someplace else to find chicken nuggets. And Kris Jenner turned 68 yesterday. She's a true MILF. Mother I'd like to forget. This is not headline news.
The Q101 Morning Crew.
On Q101.